The Middle East is making its mark on the global energy market, and Qatar appears to be leading the pack. The country has long been a major player in the global energy market, but how has Russia's involvement in the ongoing war with Ukraine affected Qatar's influence over energy flows? Today's video looks into the ways in which Qatar has been able to use Russia's actions to its advantage, and asks how long this advantage can last. Hello, and welcome to Primetime TV. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to receive more amazing content. Now, let's get started with the video. Why is Qatar the real winner? Russia's war with Ukraine has shaken global energy markets, leaving Europe short of natural gas, raising prices for all fossil fuels, and threatening a global recession. But one country has used the chaos well to its economic and political advantage: Qatar. It has been a big exporter of liquefied natural gas to Asian countries for a long time. Now, the country is set to become a key source of energy for Europe too, which is moving away from its dependence on Russia. The country is also getting closer to China, undermining Russia's hopes of sending most of the energy that Europe doesn't buy anymore to Asia. Many energy experts believe Qatar is on its way to becoming the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, a vital energy source with massive reserves and extremely low pricing. This means that Qatar will be able to sell natural gas for a longer period of time and at a higher profit than other big exporters, such as Australia and Russia, even as climate change drives many countries to curtail their usage of fossil fuels. Who else sells gas? Looking at the figures, Qatar is almost tied with Australia and the United States as the world's greatest producer of liquefied natural gas, a super-chilled fuel carried on tankers. Also, experts say that Australian exports have likely peaked, and some of the country's aged fields are beginning to decrease. Also, new export terminals are being developed in the United States, but at a slow rate, hampered in part by big investors who are less eager to put money into fossil fuels than they were a few years ago due to climate change concerns. Russia is also a big exporter of gas, most of which has been going to Europe for a long time through pipelines. But since Russia invaded Ukraine in February, these exports have slowed to a trickle. And that puts Qatar, a monarchy in the Middle East with only 3 million people, in the best position. The country started building 4 huge new production and export terminals last year. By 2026, these investments will increase its export capacity by more than a third. And officials have said that 2 more terminals will be built later in the decade. In total, the country's ability to make liquid natural gas will grow by more than 60% by the end of the decade, reaching 126 million tons per year. What are the future plans of Qatar? The country's energy exports, of which natural gas is by far the most important, more than doubled last year. Qatar Energy, a state-owned firm, has been investing in Brazil, Suriname, Angola, South Africa, and other countries in addition to managing its massive domestic offshore gas production. It has collaborated with ExxonMobil to construct a liquefied natural gas export terminal in Louisiana, which is scheduled to open in 2024. Qatar Energy and Exxon are also producing gas in a field off the coast of Egypt and prospecting for gas in Cyprus too. Qatar Energy also made a deal with Chevron Phillips Chemical to build an $8.5 billion plastics plant in Texas and a 15-year deal to supply gas to Germany. The deal with Germany was a big win for Qatar, because Germany and other European countries had been reluctant to sign such long-term contracts because they didn't want to be locked into using fossil fuels for too long because of the EU's ambitious plans to fight climate change. But because global gas supplies are low and Europe needs to replace Russian energy as soon as possible, Germany's leaders may have had no choice but to agree to a 15-year deal with Qatar. In addition to that agreement, Qatar recently secured a 27-year contract to supply natural gas to China, the longest such arrangement ever recorded. This arrangement, for approximately 4 million tons of gas per year, will ensure Qatar a market for much of the additional gas it plans to produce once its new terminals are completed. Qatar currently supplies 1/4 of China's natural gas. The new arrangement, together with a number of lesser agreements, will allow China to significantly lessen its reliance on Russia. It is clear that Russia's war has enabled Qatar to increase its influence in the global energy market. However, whether this is a good or bad development is still up for debate. While Qatar's increased power and influence may give it greater control over energy flows, it could also result in disruption in the market and an increase in the cost of energy. Only time will tell if this development is beneficial or detrimental to the global economy. What are your thoughts on the matter? Tell us in the comments. Also, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks a lot for tuning in. See you later.